Okay, so before you get all excited and everything, the tank that you just saw me escape is not my tank. That's my pole boss tank. I set it up over the weekend, and I'm going to be adding some plants to it, some fish and all that, and I'll show all that to you guys. But you guys have been wanting me to get an Oscar, like, inside of my house. Now, you guys know I have an albino Oscar, but he's outside in my exotic pond, and you just don't see him all that much because a lot of times he's hiding. I really don't show that pond all that much because a lot of things in there are always hiding. So what I've decided to do is bring him inside for the winter and put him with my Jack Dempsey, and then in the springtime we're going to move him back outside into the pond when he's more used to us and just overall bigger. That way we can see him a lot more and he can get a lot more used to me as well. Now there's my Jack Dempsey right there, and he's been kept with many other Oscars and bigger South American cichlids before, and he's done totally fine with them. The only thing is that he's very, very territorial when it comes to his log. That's his log right there, and when he goes in it, he's not letting anybody else in there with him. Now, another thing, my Jack Dempsey is pretty old, and when he gets pissed off, he gets really, really mad. So I want to make sure I avoid that, and so does the Oscar too, because the Oscar that we're putting in here is like half the size of him. Well, he's not half the size, but he's definitely smaller than him, and I don't think we'll have any problems. Like I said, my Jack Dempsey is pretty chill and everything. I keep him fed very, very well. He's just very territorial when it comes to the log, and it's pretty crazy because the last video I was talking about the same thing. I was getting a new clownfish, and I was worried about my other clownfish being territorial to the new one, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. He's doing really good though. So I'm going to head outside, get the Oscar in a bag, and then acclimate him with the Jack Dempsey. And another thing I keep forgetting to mention at the beginning of the videos, if you're interested in any of the background music that I use in the video, I've started putting it in the description. So I put the time that it's used in the video right here, and then right next to it I put the name of. So if you're interested in the background music that I use in the video, just go to the description, look at the time I use in the video, and there you go. But everyone in the pond is doing really, really good. You can see the gar coming up to me right there. But over the weekend I actually had to add a 400 watt heater. It's starting to really kind of get cold now, and this is an exotic pond, so they have to have the water very, very warm. And it was starting to get pretty cold, but now it's right around about 78, 80 degrees. So that is perfect for these guys. Now the Oscar has two different hiding places. He either goes up underneath the driftwood or back there behind the rock pond. I think I just saw a little flash of his tail back there, so we're going to try to not spook the gar. I'm going to lift this up, and I think he's right back here. Alright, let's see. Oh, there he is. Look at him right there. So, we're going to go and grab this guy without spooking everybody else in here and get him inside. Okay, you guys are going to have to chill right there because I couldn't find another spot to like set you guys up on. So, got the bag right here. I'm going to set it in the water, and I'm going to go and grab this guy. You know what? While we're at it, I'm going to give you guys a really, really good look at my Marlboro Karud catfish. You guys have not seen him like for real up close in months, like ever since we put him in here. So I'm gonna scoop him up real quick. And there he is right there. Check him out. Just a beautiful catfish, and he's pretty well doubled in size since we put him in here. I'm going to go and release him. There he goes. Looks really, really good in here though. Now let's get the Oscar. He's just chilling right over there. Come on, buddy. Swim in the net, swim in the net. Come on, come on, come on. Got him. Alright, and there he is. Alright, you guys, so we got the Oscar right here, and it's been a while since this guy has had an Oscar in here with him. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what he does, so I'm going to go and set the bag in there, and let's see what happens. Alright, so there's the Oscar right there. Oh, Jack Dempsey's coming up there to him. He's just going to check him out, you know, and everything. He knows this is his tank, so if he becomes territorial towards him, it's not going to surprise me, and if he gets really aggressive, I'm just going to have to move him back out there because I don't really have any other tank that I can put him in. So I'm going to let him chill out there for about 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to come back and put him in. And also let that guy kind of get introduced to him. While the Oscar is acclimating, here is the new snowstorm clownfish that I got in the last video. Look at him right there. This guy has actually started to eat a little bit yesterday and this morning, and I'm still feeding twice a day, and as you can see, the aggression, there's pretty much none now by my clownfish. He swims with him and everything now, lets him go in his own territory back there, and everything seems to be just fine, honestly. Oh, look at this. He's up there checking him out right now. Okay, he's kind of veering off now. Oscar checking him out. Really not worried about the Oscar being aggressive towards him, but the Jack Dempsey seems to be checking him out. Okay, so it is about time now to go and put the albino Oscar in the tank with the Jack Dempsey, and we're going to see what happens. Here we go. Alright, in 3, 2, 1. There he is. He's probably going to go straight to hiding. Going to go sit down on the bottom probably. That's what Oscars normally do. You can see the size comparison though. It is a big one for sure. The Jack Dempsey is a little spooked as well. He kind of gets skittish and a little spooked by some things, but Oscar's going to come over here. Hopefully he doesn't go in that log. I really, really hope he doesn't. That's going to flare up the Jack Dempsey and probably, like I said, piss him off. Alright, you can see him turning around right there. There's the Oscar. Alright, they're about to come face to face. Let's see what happens. Okay. Let's check him out. And the Oscar's checking him out, looks like. Turn back around. Okay. Well, that looks good right there. No problems at all. Of course, when I walk away, it could be much different, but they look fine together, honestly, right now. And like I said, I keep my Jack Dempsey fed very well. The big thing is just making sure that Oscar does not go in that log. That's the only thing I hope he does not do. Now, I'm going to do the same thing I did in the last video, where I sit here and just kind of watch them, you know, make sure everything's just fine. And then in about 30 minutes, I'm going to give you guys an update on like how everything's going then. Well, it's been about 30 minutes now since the Oscar's been in the tank, and they've done really well together. Look at them right there. When the Jack Dempsey goes one way, the Oscar goes right there next to him. I think he kind of feels protected by him in a way, but if you really wanted to hide, he could just go in the log. So, but at least they're getting along really well. The Jack Dempsey isn't really flared up at him or anything like that. He isn't, you know, puffing his gills at him if he was really mad about him being in the tank, and everything looks to be doing just fine, honestly. Oscar is staying, like I said, right there next to him, and the Jack Dempsey really does not care at all. Now, I honestly think having the Oscar in there now is going to throw the Jack Dempsey off for about a day or so, but I'm going to put a few pellets in there just to see if he'll eat them. Oh, look at him. There he goes. He's going up there. So that guy is going to go in and eat. Now, he was pretty hungry earlier. Oh, look at that, look at that. He's pushing him out the log. Did you see that? He just kind of stuck his mouth out to him. That's harmless, honestly. That isn't that big of a problem. Cichlids do that anyways. I do notice one thing about that Jack Dempsey right now. He is very dark in coloration. He really darkened up a lot. Other than that, though, I mean, he's acting totally normal, honestly. So those guys seem to be doing... Oh, look at him, look at him. That's what he just did here a second ago. If that's the only thing he's doing, that's not that big of a problem, as long as he's not, you know, like chasing him down. And I figured he wasn't going to do that anyways. My Jack Dempsey doesn't do a whole lot of moving around anyways. But those guys seem to be doing really well together, so I'm going to leave them alone for now, and I'm going to give you guys an update on them in the next video. As for the sawshells, they're doing really good. You can see the little one up here ready to be fed. There's the big one right there. Getting more used to me now. Of course, when I'd walk up to the tank, normally he would just spook right off, run off, burying himself in the sand. And now he just kind of chills there when I walk into the tank. He's not up here, you know, doing what that guy is, but still, he's getting more used to me, and that's all that really matters. As for this guy, though, it is just crazy. Look at this. And he wants to bite me, but this guy does not care one bit if I pick him up. Look at that. And does not spook when I put him back in the water. So he's a really cool turtle. And you guys knew I was trying to get a UV bulb for the filter for this pond, because the pond had turned like completely green. Well, actually I had the filter out for a few days, and then we had a whole bunch of rain, and then that rainwater actually helped clear up the pond like quite a bit. So what I did, until I get the UV bulb, which I actually ordered one today, so I have one here in 2 days. Until I get the UV bulb, though, I just stuck the filter back in there just to add some flow and, you know, the light, of course. And yeah, the fish are doing great, and actually the pond is about half as clear as it was when it was, you know, completely green. So like I said, I should get the UV bulb here in about 2 days, and then I'll put the UV bulb in the filter, get it back in there, and we'll have our pond back crystal clear, and I'll get my 3 baby koi that I've been trying to get now for a few weeks in the pond this weekend. And I also finally ordered a light for Chunga's tank, and that should be here within about 2 days as well. Finally, he can get a light back on his tank, and he's looking really good. Look at him. Ready for some more food. But that is going to be pretty much it for now. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please be sure to drop a like on the video, hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, finally got an Oscar inside. Hopefully he does really good in there with the Jack Dempsey, and like I said, I'm just going to grow him up some in there with the Jack Dempsey over the winter, and then in the springtime I'm going to move him back outside in the pond. Anyways guys, with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.